Excuse. Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you a quick review of the newly operating system on market now. That is the Sage Security Operating System. Sage Security Operating System is just like Microsoft operating system, Mac OS X, Linux based systems, okay, because this is also a Linux based OS, okay. So so unique on its way because it contains over 576 tools inbuilt, which is going to make your work so simple and easier. No stress, okay, just sit and it's going to do all your work for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is today show you some review of this operating system and what actually it's going to do for you. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let's get started. So the first thing is to go to the main web page of the OS. This is the web link, okay, and this is the whole web site. So when you click here, it shows you the procedure on how to install the operating system. I think people will get confused here because maybe this could be their first time using an operating system which is a Linux base, because people are mostly familiar with Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10 and all lot of stuff. Okay, so you could see it says what, click download to download the Sage Overfire. The over here means it's what, a plug and play. You don't need to go into installation like wait for 30 seconds, 30 minutes, 1 hour for installation. When you wait for those kind, then the file actually is an ISO file, okay, where you are going to extract it, wait for some time and go lot of like just like installing what Windows 7 or Windows 8 on a new machine. Okay, but this is pre-install. Okay, so you just download it, but first you need this what, Virtualbox. When you click on this, it brings you to this web page. Okay, and it has Windows OXS Linux distribution, as I told you earlier, which means this can run on Windows operating system OSS on Linux distribution, just like my OS I brought, which is the Sage Security Operating System. So you can run even the Virtualbox on my operating system. And for the fact that it's the first ever Ghanaian operating system, and it's the first in actually in Ghana, at the same time first in Africa. Take it or note it, and that's been added to the list of countries with their operating system. So let's get into it. So all what you need to do is to know what's the interface and how this operating system is being used in terms of security for organizations and a whole lot of other institutions, not just organized, could be schools, web applications and a whole lot. Okay, so what I'm going to show you today is the process of how you're going to use this operating system. But let me show you some example. Now, this is a web application, which is what, try2hack.nl. It is vulnerable, okay, and I have the permission to hack this website or to test this website. Mostly some organization brings up programs for you to test or to try to hack and give them reports on it. But if you don't have permission, don't try it, because you can violate their rules and you could end you in jail or in prisons. Okay, so on this website I have the permission to hack it, but I'm going to show you a simple security flaw in this website. We are not going to hack it today. I'm just going to show you some security flaw which I want each and every organization to take notes. Okay, and we have this website as usual, everybody knows. Let me try to open called Google. I'll show you a little bit difference between these two websites, how Google have secured their web applications and how this was vulnerable for people to attack because it has not been secured. Okay, now I'm going to write a simple script or simple line of code to show you the trick I'm going to show you. Okay, so I have a text editor. You can use either Visual Studio or any text editor of your choice to try this along with me. So I have this beautiful text editor called Atom. Okay, all you need after opening this, you just go to File, you create a new file. I've already created, so I'm going to save this file on my Windows drive. Okay, I'm going to call it clickjacking, because the attack we are going to perform HTML. Okay, because it's going to be a web application. Cancel this, because the web what we are going to do today is to test what the security flaw of web application, website, or even systems. But this simple script is going to show you one security flaw we find in website day in and day out, where hackers use this kind of flaw to create a spam page, and after creating this spam page, they generate what an email list and send these links to people, and people try to access this link. And what they do is their brilliancies and their intellect they use to trick users to open those pages, enter their login account, their bank details, and they have hold on it, like credit card, bank cards, and all those kind of stuff for them to use on different websites. So this is a flaw I want bank or institutions to take note of it, whether you have a user or students who have what, like let's say institutions like schools and all lot of kind, which has a login page, especially username and password. A hacker can use this flaw to trick users to log in. It gets all his what details without their notice, and here after this they create somewhat intelligent or line of script or words to trick the users, but them behaving like they are the administrators of the schools, and they've seen a whole lot of hacking on their website, so they want all you the students to try to update your account, okay, so that they'll make sure it's secure. So the moment you get this message, it will prompt you, okay, let me try to update my details, because they say there's a lot of attacks going on the school. And this is where the brilliance of the hackers comes in. They do this, you click on the link, which is their maybe spam page or phishing page, you enter all your details and they have it, boom, you don't have any access to it again. They change all your password and now they be the account owners. So this is a simple line of code which they use to trick you, the users, and I'm going to show you the code. But before that, after this, you need to know whether the site is vulnerable to this kind of security flaw before, or whether this is not vulnerable to this security flaw. So I'm going to write the code, and this code, the operating system I brought up, is going to do this kind of thing to test your organization whether they are vulnerable or not vulnerable in just a simple seconds of steps, because this is going to take at least like 2 minutes, or no, maybe it will be less than that, but because of process I need to show you step by step, because this is the manual way and the OS is there to do it automatic for you. That's why we brought this for the organization to be able to use it in protecting their institutions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to write a simple line of code, and after that we use the operating system to do the same kind of stuff. Okay, so without wasting my time, let's get started. So all I'm going to do is write an ATM code. Perfect. The moment I write ATM, you see this test editor, the reason why I like it try to generate some line of code for me, so it makes my work so simple. Okay, so I'm going to explain this kind of code for you. The ATM is a tag, so all these are tags and these are also tags, but you know the language can be in Chinese, any other language. So EN means English, and directly it show you what the directory it will be going to actually process all this information from. Okay, and the header, we have meta character, so this one too is kind of what the Unicode is trying to, whether it's base 64 or base 32 or something like that, to show you. And this is title, so we can put a title right here. Okay, you can call this clickjacking test. Okay, perfect. Then in the body we want to create a paragraph, okay, which we will say, let's say P means paragraph. Okay, so P tag, we just name maybe clickjacking vulnerability test. Okay, perfect. So anytime you open a tag, you just need to close a tag with it without a / without P. Perfect. Now we're done. Now what we need to do is, this is where the issue is. All website uses what? Sources. So anytime you open Google, Facebook, Instagram, it pulls all your data from a source. Okay, so and the source is what? Always in what? A frame. So anytime you go to a website, let me show you this website. This is the frame of the website. Okay, because the time I try to access this, it pulls from a source. That's where this website is hosted. It pull it, and it has what? It already framed interface. Okay, so when you're writing the code, you need to bring that one into your code. So we use something we call iframe. You see, it's already generated, so it's using this style like a source. So which source do you want to test? Okay, so let me go here, copy this link. Okay, now let me paste this link here. Perfect. And now I set this width to, let's say, 500, and height to what? 500. What this means is I want my web page, the width of it to be 500 and the height from here to here to be 500. I don't want much because this is a test case. I'm trying to demonstrate some stuff to you. Okay, so with this, what I'm going to do now is to save this, Ctrl S or Command S on your Mac. Now when I go back to, let me put this and go to my drive, I have this clickjacking HTML right here. Okay, so make sure you have your internet connected. Double click on this HTML code you just created. Now let's see. You see clickjacking vulnerability test. That is all. The paragraph we created right here. You see it's right here, clickjacking. And now in this, it was able to pull from the source with this simple line of code, which means this web application or website, as we could see here, which is the main web page, is vulnerable to clickjacking. So if this could have a bank online system with login page, I can create a phishing page or a spam page, put this link in a source with the same interface, send it to users who are saving with this bank, trick them, tell them, hey, we are doing some new updates and we want each and everyone to update its account info. So the moment you click on this link, you'll be redirected to my phishing page. The moment you log in with your username and password, I have those details and I can fuck around with your information. It's as simple as that. Okay, so now we could see this, we're able to pull the source into this simple line of code I created. Okay, so what we are going to do is, let me show you why Google is secured. Now let me change this website to google.com. Okay, perfect. And now let's Ctrl S or Command S to save. Now let's refresh this page. And voila, we couldn't see any information, but look at the information that displayed to us now. It says what? www.google refused to connect because they have protected themselves from a clickjacking attack. Okay, because they don't want to lose a lot of Gmail or Google username and accounts of their customers to hackers or other intruders to fuck around with or to mess up around with. Okay, so Google has secured their web page from clickjacking attack. It's as simple as that. Meanwhile, this website, because I told you earlier, it's a vulnerability site to test or do all your tests on, they have not secured this website, so you can just hack it with some minutes of like hours, seconds. You can even own the whole website. Okay, but it was just a simple one security flaw. I was showing you, and how this operating system I made up is going to do this kind of analysis within some seconds, so that when you have a whole lot of subdomains to work on, you don't need to always come and write all this line. Of course, each in there, maybe you have hundreds of websites to test on as a security analyst or something. You don't need to go through all this, right? Because you come and write this website. This operating system is going to do the work in just some quick simple steps, and to show you the sites that are vulnerable and sites which are not vulnerable. You will see that in a couple of seconds. So wait and watch what I'm going to do. So we're done with this. So as I show you, when we view this page source by right clicking and view the page source of this, it's going to show us the page source of this website, and I'll show you something in a couple of seconds. So this is the page source. Now this is Google. I'm going to open the page source of Google, and now let me hold on with this. Okay, now this is the page source of Google, and this is, which is a secured web app, and this is the page source of unsecured web app. Okay, so I told you to download the operating system, and this is the username and the password of the operating system. It's an open source and it's good to go. Okay, you don't need to waste much of your time right here as I showed you. So you first download the Virtualbox, and when we open here, when you download it, this is what you are going to see. At first you're going to see this, and all you need is to double click on this. So when you double click first on the operating system you downloaded, this is what you are going to see. Okay, you will see this information first, say security, cybersecurity penetration, and a whole lot of information right here. So all what you need to do is import it, click on it to tell you, do you want to agree or not? Because I'm going to disagree, and I don't need it. I'll cancel because I already have it. Okay, so it's right here. So this is what we are going to do now. What we are going to do now is, now let's launch the application. You see, we went through a whole lot of what, writing codes to just test for security and a whole lot of purposes, as I'll show you why Google is secure and this website is not secure. So all this work we did, this operating system is going to do it with a simple steps. Okay, so let's open our operating system first. Yeah, so wait for the operating system to boot up. Okay. So I think it's taking a lot of time, so let's pause this video. I'll be back again. Okay. Yes, so we back into the system. So this is the front or the main login page. You're going to see a Sage. You just click on this. Okay. Just wait for some time. Then you type in the password. Okay. Which is TO okay, then you sign in. I think it's taking it's a bit slow because I have a lot of things running, so let me pause this video for it to log in. Okay, into the system, and I'm going to show you how easy this is to be done than going through a whole lot of writing code. So you just click on the star right here. Okay, quick web stored and how to use some of the tools, but today we are just on the clickjacking security. Okay, that is what I'm going to do today. So what we need to do now is go to files, try to files, you around some of what the tools are. You can run the terminal as from where the website. So you go to add the location right here to my computer, then go to home or first user. Okay, then you click on local, then you go to the bin folder. Now in this bin folder we have this antivirus bettercap code. All these have its functionality, in which in the next future I will show you how to use all these in security and also testing for some vulnerabilities in your organization, your industry, your web application, your institution, a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so what we are going to do now is what we did earlier was clickjacking, and I told you this operating system is going to make your work so simple, but there is a great tool I'm going to show you which is so quick and simple for helping us to identify clickjacking in websites. Okay, and to know whether it's vulnerable to clickjacking or not vulnerable to clickjacking. So what we're going to do now is close this, go back to the start menu, go to the search option and type in terminal. Okay, so let's wait for. Okay, so we have these two terminal. One is terminator, one is terminal. This can be divided into a whole lot of sessions so that I can perform different tasks as compared to the inbuilt terminals. This is the first terminal which came like an inbuilt system in this operating system. and we have the other one called Terminator. This also has some nice interface in this operating system. You need to wait for some time for it to load up. So click on the Terminator as well. Okay. So these are the two terminals. Okay. These pull it right here for you to see, and this running a whole lot of things in the background, so it's mixing this quite a bit slow, but don't worry, you will make up. So you see the difference. This, when I right click, okay, it doesn't give me, it show you like new window or new tab. Okay, but with this other terminal is the same thing, but here you can split this, okay, into both horizontal and vertical. Okay, so when I click horizontal, you see divide this terminal into. When I click on vertical, see the perfect 1, 2, 3. So you see that the beauty of this terminal as compared to the original terminal, okay, which can also built with some operating system. So what we are going to do now is to launch a tool called 2x. Okay, yes, and it's X, capital X, and click enter, and the password is TOOR. Okay, now this is the tool. We are going to install best hacking tool, show all tools. That's almost 373 tools in build. So all you need to do, click on one as option shown here, hit enter. Now it's showing you a whole lot of you can use in your testing. Okay, so what I'm interested is in 20. Okay, let's check 20. Perfect. This is clickjacking tester. So what I want to just type in number 22 and just click on enter. Now it's trying to tell me I'm offline, no connection. Please try again. Let me check and see whether I have internet. Internet is connected. Let me type 22 again. Let's see what happens. We still have problem with our internet. What could be the problem? Let me check whether it's internal problem or external. So we hold on for some seconds. Then we have internet problem, which we need to solve it. So wait for some seconds. I'm trying to figure it out and bring it back online. So let me go back, hit 22 again. Let's see whether this time perfect. Now my internet is back. The tool is installed successfully. Clickjacking tester is installed successfully. So now let me use this terminal. Okay. Now all you need to do is to go to what the root of where the application is installed. So we just click on SU, which is super user, hit the password TOR. Now just click CD/root. Now when you list, you see the click jacking tester right here. So we need to go into that directly. Use the CD command, okay, or which means change directly CD, okay. Then we click on click jacking. Now when you open, we have this clickjacking.py, which means this program coded in Python, okay. So what we need to do is to run this program with a Python inbuilt command. So Python, and it was used by Python 3. It was coded in Python 3. We have Python 2, 2.7, 3, 3.7, and a whole lot, and upcoming one. So this was coded in Python 3. So Python 3, then click on click jacking. You can use the tab key to automatically complete it for you, or you can just write all this kind of codes yourself, but we want it to be quick, so you hit on the tab key on our keyboard and automatically it completes it for us. Now when I click enter, first let me close this once. I don't need it, so that we get some free space to work with it. Okay, perfect. So we have everything here now. Now when I hit enter, now look at what it's trying to tell me. Say usage, right? Python 3 followed by this and the file name. This is where the magic happens when you are testing for a whole lot of websites. You put all those websites in a file and you just want to map it to this clickjacking tester, and it's going to do the work automatically for you, rather than the first method we use when we are writing a lot of code. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Now see what happens. Now I'm going to create a file and put a whole lot of websites which I know is vulnerable and which are not vulnerable, and let's see the magic. So I'm going to use an inbuilt text editor called Nano. Okay, so I just type sudo nano, okay, then the file name, okay, maybe you want to save it as sites.txt, like a test file. So this is kind of a test editor. It's going to open this new file you created to type in. So when I click and enter, it opens, you see, new test pad, and this is what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to put in some sites which I know are not vulnerable. It is secured, and some sites which I know are vulnerable. So we play along together. So I just click www.google.com, facebook.com. I know these two websites are not vulnerable to clickjacking because it has been reported and it has been secured. Okay, so there's another website which are not secured, which I showed previously. So we are going, let's go back to our web app and let's go. We are testing on that first, which is this, and it's for try to hack.nl. Go back to my operating system. I'm going to type the try to hack.nl, okay, to make sure the domain is the same as the one you are working with. Okay, and I have some lists here like this: Google Gruyere app, okay, this OS. I'm typing yeah, red.appspot.com. Perfect. So we have all this list size. So after this, all you need to click on is Control O. Okay, to save it and hit enter. Okay, so you see the Control O means write out, which means save. Okay, then after that Control X means exit, so you exit this. And now when we list what is into the folder, we could see our site.txt, which contains Facebook, Google, and a whole lot of stuff in it. So what we are going to do now is we run the code again, which is Python 3, this time click Jarkin, then we add this site to this Python application. Okay, then just click sites.txt. Okay, now when you run this program, you could see the program. Okay, you see the program run through all this. It's checking www, and it automatically told that that website is not vulnerable. You don't waste your time because it's being secured. Checking www.facebook.com website is not vulnerable because it's being secured. Okay, checking www trying to hack, and the website is vulnerable. It created a proof of concept file which is saved in url.html, and checking Google GUI App Store, which is website is vulnerable. It also created the same thing. So now we could see that these two websites in that test sites.txt are not vulnerable, but what I explained earlier on is vulnerable to what attack, which means now a hacker can from here try to do any malicious stuff he wants. So as an organization, if you run tests using this operating system and using these two inbuilt to generate all this, now you could see that you have a problem in your company. So now you see how we're going to fix this issue. So this is where you can call up the IT team to work on this for you. Okay, as an organization, so that you are not going to lose customers, or people are not going to complain a lot about your company like we are saving, but our accounts and the credit cards are being used by people, and our accounts are moving a whole lot of deductions in our bank accounts, or my password has been manipulated, my system has been hacked. All these are problems most industries and institutions are facing, and this OS is here to help you identify this kind of issue, able to solve it. So with this, now you see that this is not vulnerable, this is vulnerable. Now when we list again to see that, now you could see it created the proof. Now when we try to use a command called cat to navigate with this, okay, try complete it and open it. Now you could see that these were the code I wrote earlier on when I was writing using the Atom test editor. Now you could see these two already has able to report that it's vulnerable and has been able to generate this line of code where the problem is. So you could see we use iframe, is also using iframe here to try to show where actually is. So this is simple. You see, we're supposed to write a of code, but this time out we use this to it in just simple bit of seconds. You can have a lot of 1,000 websites in just a single file, and this is going to help you in a simple second. I hope you understand this. Now let's go back to the website and let me show you why Google right here is not vulnerable and tryhack.nl is vulnerable. Now in the web page, this is the web page of try to hack, which is vulnerable. When we view the page, now look at what is happening here. Try to hack. Now this line of code where the problem is. Now this meta tag HTTP content type was supposed to, its content was supposed to be from the same origin. So when the programmer was writing this code, he was supposed to create a meta tag and make what this content type or the content of the website is same origin, so that even when there's a malicious attack or a phishing page, anytime a user click on that link, it redirects back to the same site rather than moving to the phishing or the spamming. Now, this is the page of the vulnerable. Now let's see why I told you we secured. Now look here with his meta content. Now you see what Google did. They strip out using a mitigation method and use this content origin, which means the moment you create a phishing page and even the user click on it, it goes back to the origin, which is what the main website. So this is kind of a security flaw. With this trick, a user or a hacker can get all the details because you didn't bring this piece line of in your web application. So when the operating system it was able to identify a site which is vulnerable to attack, it's going to help you this kind of things. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on clickjacking and how you this clickjacking attack. As I told you, there should be a line piece of code with this just content being changed to origin or same origin. It depends on the web server you are saving, whether it's Apache or IIS. They have some mitigation. You need to be able to do this kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. So don't let your site to be like these ones. Okay, you need to insert HTTP equivalent content type to origin, not to, because with this it can be redirected to a phishing page for to manipulate, especially the bank online systems and online system like student account with username and password. You don't want any breach or like data breach within this stuff. So as an institution, you need from all these kind of attacks. So this brings us to the end of a few demonstrations on how this operating system is helping the security aspect, okay, an organization, and it being the first ever African operating system and Ghana first operating system, and being added to the countries with their own Linux operating system. I say I appreciate everyone's effort with sharing this operating system along the way, and for security analysts, cybersecurity penetrating testers, certified ethical hackers to utilize this operating system to make their job faster than sitting down writing a whole line of code. Okay, but before the meantime, the website even I hosted, okay, the website I even hosted is this. For this operating system is actually vulnerable to attack. I've not those mitigations there. I did this because I wanted demonstration. See, so when even I go back the operating system, okay, go back, try to something, okay. Now when I navigate where I put here the site, let me try to put in my website, the OS www.sage security okay os.mozilla.com and Control O save and Control X to exit, and I try to run this again. Let's see whether my is vulnerable. So first, Google is not vulnerable. Perfect. And now you could see As I told you my website I'm hosting is vulnerable to clickjacking. But because I don't have any information, I'm not that concerned right now because I don't host any login pages or something like that. So you could see right here is this is vulnerable. Okay. Google is not vulnerable. Facebook is not vulnerable to clickjacking. Try to hack is vulnerable. Google Gruyere is vulnerable. Clickjacking attack, and say security module is also vulnerable to clickjacking attack. So as I show you, it's simple. I told you with the website, I was trying to do this illustration demonstration for you to see, so that you'll be able to protect your organization from intruders and attackers from around the world. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. See you again, and I hope it's going to be beneficial to you as we grace this newly operating system, and it's for Ghana. Everybody should utilize it. It's an open free source. Download for your organization and try to follow some process to help us build security around the globe. Okay, take care and see you next time. Goodbye.